Good evening, everybody. We're gonna start lying down today in Supta Baddha Konasana. So it's where you bend the knees apart like this and join the soles of your feet. So if you're doing this and your thighs uncomfortably lift away from the floor, place something under each outer thigh that is even in height for each one so that you can rest onto that object. The closer to your hips that object is, the more support you're giving yourself. And then come to lie down on your back. And as you lie down, take a moment and just wiggle the shoulders down the back and gently turn the head in any direction so that you can feel neutral in the neck. Feel the equal weight of both shoulders. And then do rest your palms onto your upper abdomen, the region of the solar plexus energy center that we're focusing on today. So that's underneath the bottom front ribs and the upper belly region. You might like to close your eyes. We're going to start here with a little information. So we're revisiting again the 7 main energy centers, but now through the lens of finding a parallel between them and Abraham Maslow, the psychologist, his theory of humans' basic needs, the hierarchy of. So as you might remember, the 3rd chakra, solar plexus, also called Manipura in Sanskrit, is also known as the seat of the ego. And it's where we draw motivation to achieve our goals. So reminder that the article I'm referencing and comparing the basic needs of Maslow is by Shai Tubali, and it's called How to Open All 7 Chakras to Experience Life in its Totality. He says that the 3rd chakra needs are about power and confidence. Many are embarrassed to acknowledge they actually need to feel powerful, but this embarrassment leads to nothing but painful suppression. The 3rd chakra tells us we need to feel strong and confident so that we can withstand all pressures, challenges, power tensions, and social connections and personal relationships. Another empowering component is knowing we have goals and destinations, as it is essential to feel we are heading with all our gathered energies. Though we are surely not meant to control everything in our life, we do need to feel some sort of on top of our life and able to master and direct it through will and determination. Being unable to influence events in our life is a state of 3rd chakra deprivation, according to him. So from the pyramid of needs, his version of that hierarchy by Maslow, the 3rd chakra is a sense of individual power, having goals and destinies in life, a sense of sufficient control and creative influence. So if we remember as well the 8 limbs of yoga, finding a connection here, our physical practice, the asanas, are going to involve, as you know it, stoking the Agni fire of digestion, but also that inner fire of self-discipline, tapas. Remember that 2nd limb of yoga, niyama, that practice of fiery passion or discipline. But then we don't want to go too far to the end of that spectrum, especially if you tend to be, say, a perfectionist personality or someone who's very ambitious. We want to find that balance and bring in the ingredient of the very 1st limb of yoga, the 1st yama, which is ahimsa, non-violence, remembering the larger perspective of why we're even physically challenging our bodies as we will, and some core strengthening stability postures, so that we're doing it with love. So as you lie here now, perhaps your eyes are closed and you're feeling the area of the solar plexus. Take a moment to acknowledge what you feel in that spot physically, besides the weight of your hands. Perhaps you're digesting something from a meal to a circumstance, to an emotion. Though we stoke our fire of discipline and willpower, what does balancing that with ahimsa, with self-love, genuine self-love, feel like? As you bring the component of conscious breathing, deepen the inhale into the solar plexus area. And then through the lips, as you exhale, feel that part of the abdomen gently descend. Allowing a few more deep breaths, focused physically in that region. Exhaling through the lips. So as you let your breath become more prominent to various senses, sound, touch, feel the lungs also expand. Tune into what you're choosing to focus on in this hour. Perhaps you have a specific intention, or you'd like to dedicate your practice to something meaningful to you. As you draw on that inspiration, begin to sustain your breath equally through the nose with the mouth closed, entering Ujjayi Pranayama, that warming, smooth sound breath. Softly narrowing the back of your throat. And then now take your hands to your outer thighs if you're still splaying them apart in Supta Baddha Konasana. Gently lift your thighs so that your knees can point towards the sky. Set your feet on the ground, hips distance and parallel. We're going to prepare to hold bridge pose, Setuban Sarvangasana, for your count of 5 to 10 deep breaths, really focusing on breathing still into that upper abdomen, but also filtrating all of your lungs and the lower belly. So bring the arms close to your sides. Walk your feet towards your hands until you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. As you spread your toes, grounding your feet and shoulders, prepare to lift and hold again for 5 to 10 breaths, using an exhalation to carefully lower the spine when you choose to be done. So as you lift the pelvis, engage the backs of your thighs, your hamstrings, by not moving the heels, but pretending as if you're dragging them towards your glutes. And at the same time, lengthen your tailbone forward towards the space between your knees. Slightly spin your inner thighs towards the ground. Feel that the 4 corners of your feet are equally stabilizing your weight. As you bring the upper arms closer together under your upper back, keep the arms straight, and if the hands meet, you might decide to interlace the fingers. Tilt the chin slightly back, opening your throat, welcoming deep breaths. Feel the outsides of your upper arms root into the earth. Feel the expansiveness of your inhalations met by the release of your exhalations. Soft whisper at the back of your throat. Victorious breath. What an empowering name for that pranayama. So taking your time at your own pace, with the exhalation, feel each vertebra touch the earth one at a time. And then once you land here, bend your right knee into your chest, straighten the left leg forward on the ground, preparing for a supine twist. Put your pelvis a little closer to the right edge of your mat and splay your right arm on the floor wide. As you ground your right shoulder and look towards it, begin to twist to your left. Taking a few deep breaths here. Remember that spinal twist, besides helping to decompress the spine, also helps to stoke that digestion, massaging the organs within the torso, the belly. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Then rolling onto your back, bring your pelvis to the center and straighten the right leg forward. Bend your left knee into your chest, then scoot the pelvis a little closer to the left side of your mat. Lay the left arm wide on the floor, grounding the shoulder as you turn your head towards it, and begin to twist your right. Still listening to that even sound of your breath. Feel the breath massaging through the belly, the organs of digestion, your intestines, your colon, even the throat. And then exhale, roll onto your back. Then from here, catch hold of your bent knees and just begin to rock side to side or rotate the thighs. Whatever kind of movement just helps to massage your lower back onto the ground. As well as probably your glutes are getting a massage and your hips are finding some lubrication at the joints. Now we're going to start to become more active as you straighten both legs to the sky. You could keep a little bend in the knees if the hamstrings are feeling tight. And just feel your tailbone rooting towards the front edge of your mat, not flattening the lower back, but just firming the belly in towards the spine. And now as you relax the shoulders away from the neck, reach the arms up and interlace your fingers, except the index fingers so they're pointing. Take a deep inhale, flex your feet to touch each other, and exhale, contract your belly and round, lifting the head and shoulders, sit your throat and twist to the right. Holding here, you can press the outside of your left arm onto your right thigh as you reach your index fingers towards the upper right corner of your room. Inhale, start to lower your left leg forward very slowly so that you hover your left heel just slightly off the floor. Exhale, slowly again lift the left leg up to meet the right. Let's try 4 more breaths like that. Inhale, lower the left leg just to hover. Keep reaching forward through the index. Exhale, lift the left leg. Inhale, lower left leg. Exhale, lift. 2 more cycles. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. If your head is getting tired, your neck is getting tired, use your right hand behind your skull. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And then relax the head and shoulders. Bend the knees apart like happy baby pose and catch hold of your outer feet or ankles. Ground your tailbone and shoulders. Take 1 deep breath. Raise the legs again, flex the feet, and then interlace the fingers, index fingers pointing. Take a deep breath. Exhale, contract the belly, lift the head and shoulders, and twist to your left, reaching or pointing the index fingers towards the upper left corner of your room. Keeping the breath steady, you could also press the right arm against your left thigh. You could use the left hand to hold your head up. Inhale, lower the right leg slowly forward to hover the right heel just slightly off the floor. Exhale, with control, slow movement, raise the right leg to reunite with the left. 4 more rounds. Inhale, lower the right leg. Exhale, raise it. Keep reaching forward through the index. Inhale, lower. Feel a spiraling action in your torso. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, 2. 1 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, 1. This time, hug your knees into your chest and begin to rock and roll forward and back a few times so that you can sit up, setting the feet apart in front of you, parallel hips distance. And then from here, bring your hands together at your hearts. Draw the shoulders back and down. And as you root your sitting bones into the ground, imagine lifting your pelvic floor, drawing the navel in and up, lifting the spine, lifting through the crown, really getting length through the spine. What was your intention as you bring your hands to prayer at your hearts? Inhale here. Exhale, twist at your waistline to the left. See if you can tap left elbow onto the mat. Keep the feet on the ground. Inhale, rise back to center. Exhale, twist to your right. So when you come up to center, inhale, your torso is diagonal. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. You're leaning back slightly. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale right. Twice more each side. Inhale, center. Exhale left. Ground the feet. Inhale, center. Lengthen the neck. Exhale right. Last cycle on each. Inhale, center. Exhale left. Inhale, center. Exhale right. Inhale, center. Reach the arms forward and begin to make your way up to stand, in which we're actually going to practice a Kriya. Kriyas are actions. They're usually repetitive and timed, drawn from the practice, the style of yoga called Kundalini. And this Kriya is particularly for activating the Manipura chakra that we're focusing on today. It's called the Ha Kriya. I'm getting my phone ready to set timer for 1 minute of it. And I'll demonstrate real quick. So we stand with the feet a little wider than hips width apart, parallel. So we feel really stable and grounded. Knees can be slightly bent. We begin with the arms raised, sort of like we're starting, arms raised and hands like this, shoulders relax. We inhale deeply into the belly, use the diaphragm, but then as we exhale, we yell from the core, ha, ha, ha. You might have seen this in martial arts. It's got a similar effect. So you want to feel strong in that sound that you create, and you're making it from the diaphragm. So the elbows bend towards the hips and the palms are face up, even though you're still creating fists. So I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute of that. Get into your own rhythm. Use your voice. Feel the strength of your upper abdomen. Ready? Begin. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. And relax. Set your feet hips width apart, parallel in mountain pose. And feel the strength of your mountain pose as you spread your toes and your weight throughout each corner of your foot. Lifting the heart space, the crown, relax the shoulders with the palms face forward. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. If your shoulders start to shrug, try bringing your arms further forward so they stay relaxed. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Press the ground of your legs. Inhale, lift your heart and lengthen forward. Let's step into plank and hold for about 5 deep breaths. So whether you choose to lower the knees directly under the hips or straighten the legs with heels stacked right above the balls of your feet, set your wrists directly under your shoulders and spread the shoulder blades to protract, rotating triceps towards the rear of your mat. Look at the in front of your hands and lengthen your neck. Now feel the upper abdomen that we just been focusing on. Strong there. Now feel the lower belly lifted. Carry that like a hammock for your body at the center of your body. As you exhale to glide forward, pass through Chaturanga, which is halfway down, bending the elbows 90 degrees close to your ribs. Pause at least an in-breath, maybe a little longer. Lengthen the neck, shoulder blades apart, lower belly lifted, fronts of the thighs engaged. Then slowly lower all the way down. So feel that your ankles or hips width apart as you point your toes firmly on the ground. Interlace your fingers behind your lower back. Try to hug the heels of your palms together. As you straighten the arms and ground your pubic bone, ground your feet. Energize, lengthening the legs back. Then right under the shoulder blades begin to contract as you inhale to lift the chest. And now let's hold another 5 breaths. Look on the ground just ahead of you, lengthening the back of your neck as you reach the knuckles of your hands towards your heels. Draw the shoulder blades down your back. Feel your collarbones broaden. Feel the facial muscles relax. Taking 2 more deep breaths. Notice how firmly you're pressing down with the tops of your feet, that your knees are not touching the ground. When you're ready to, come into Cobra or Upward Facing Dog for 2 to 3 breaths, setting your wrists alongside your floating ribs. Either pelvis stays on the floor for Cobra or lifts and the shoulders draw back to land just above the wrists as the heart extends forward and up. Upward Dog. Then as you're ready, contract the belly, slowly lifting the tailbone high. Then draw your sitting bones back, coming into Downward Facing Dog. So whether you choose to hold still right away or pedal your feet and shake your head, take about 5 breaths here to truly arrive, mind, body, spirit. We're going to flow through 2 continuous rounds of Sun Salutation A. And the color of this chakra is yellow, and it has the potency of the sun. So saluting that within you. Bend your knees, look beyond your hands. At the end of your exhale, walk or float to the top into a forward fold. Inhale, press with your hands and lengthen your spine forward. Exhale to fold. Rooting down through the legs, inhale, rise. Saluting the sun as the palms meet. Exhale, acknowledge the qualities of the sun within you. Inhale, sweep the space around you. Exhale, forward fold. Keep going, I'm just gonna fix the sound. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, step or lightly jump back, taking your vinyasa. Breathing into Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. And exhaling to Downward Facing Dog. Holding there, 3 to 5 deep breaths. I think our Spotify is going a little wacky today, so I think better to just turn it off. If you have your own music, you can feel free to play it, you're on mute. So from here, bend your knees, look ahead of your hands. At the end of your exhale, walk or float to the top of your mat, forward folds. Inhale, press with the fingertips and lengthen the spine forward. Exhale, fold in. Root down to your feet, inhale, sweep the arms, gazing up. Salutation to the sun. Exhale, hands to heart center, acknowledging within you. Last one, inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Plant your hands and float to Chaturanga or step to plank, then lower through Chaturanga. Breathe into Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Let's meet in Downward Facing Dog for a few deep breaths. Now bring your feet together in Downward Dog. And if you want to modify this core strengthening movement we're about to do, you can set your left knee on the ground, starting with both knees on the ground. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you. Flex the foot, toes turn down. Exhale, look forward and tap right knee to right, outer upper arm coming forward in plank. Inhale, raise the right leg again. Exhale, look forward and cross the right knee to tap left outer upper arm. So you're twisting at the waist, not the shoulders. Inhale, raise the right leg again. This time, bend knee to nose, rounding the back. Feel the lift of the abdomen and softly land the right foot directly between the hands. Warrior 2. Spin the back heel down and cartwheel your arms apart. So right away, steady your gaze, steadying your mind's attention on one spot, whether you close your eyes or not. Feel your right outer hip wrap under your body slightly as you bend the right knee just over the heel, perhaps 90 degrees if you're looking for that rigor, aligned with the middle right toe down the center of your mat. Straightening the left leg, firm the outer heel down, and press the top of your left thigh bone back towards the right wide width of your mat. Last 2 breaths, soften the shoulders, feel the ease in your breath, balance with all of that structure and alignment of your body. With the exhale, lower your hands If you need a vinyasa here, feel free. Otherwise, save your energy and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Arriving in downward dog, bring your feet to touch. Flex the left foot as you inhale, raise it behind you, squaring your hips. Look forward, exhale, tap left knee to left tricep, stacking shoulders over wrists. Inhale, raise the left leg again. Exhale, look forward, cross left knee to right tricep, twisting at your waist, keeping the shoulders leveled. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, bend the left knee towards your nose, contracting your belly to round the back. Set the left foot lightly between the hands. Warrior two. Spin the right heel down. Align your left heel to the arch of your right foot. Then cartwheel your arms to rise up. So again, right away, steady your gaze. And with that, an intention of focusing. Feel the breath. And now feel left outer hip wrapping slightly under your body as you bend. Left knee just over left heel, aligned with left middle toe down the center line of your mat. Feel the outside edge of your right foot firming into the floor as you straighten the right leg, firming the top of your right thigh bone back towards the left wide width of your mat. Arms wide open, relax the shoulders. Last couple of breaths. What else might your body be hinting that you could relax to? So from here, lower your fingertips at the top of your mat to frame your left foot and simply step your right foot to meet the left. Both touch. Then bend your knees to touch and sink your weight back towards your heels for a few breaths in Utkatasana chair. We're going to semi-flow into the more traditional classic version of Surya Namaskar B. So as you sit back towards the heels, glide the shin bones back, anchor the tailbone downward, hug in the bottom of your front ribs, feel the area of the solar plexus alive, and then relax the shoulders. One more inhalation. As you exhale, shift more weight forward and fold. Inhale, rise to half fold. Step or lightly jump to Chaturanga. Lowering into Cobra as you breathe in, or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. So in the semi-flow, let's take a moment to set it up. In the more traditional version of Surya B, we don't raise the leg behind us before stepping forward. So it engages the core a bit more. So from here, we're going to step the right foot forward first, but let's spin out the left foot where it is. So that left heel is grounded, left toes are pointing towards upper left corner of the mat. Now contract the belly, bend the right knee towards your nose, and softly step the right foot just inside of your right hand. So your feet are about hips width apart, and you're able to turn both hips to face forward. If you're not able to turn both hips facing forward, you could step the right foot further out to the right, or you could not step it forward as far as you did. And then firming down through both feet entirely, bend the front knee just over the heel, and slowly rise up into Warrior One. Now let's hold for a few breaths. As you're bending the front knee just over the ankle, drawing the right thigh bone back, press the outside edge of your left heel into the floor and straighten your left leg completely while spiraling the inner left thigh back. Feel the bowl shape that is your pelvis aligned upright, so the tailbone is descending. The frontal hip bones are slightly lifting towards the bottom front ribs. Then soften the bottom front ribs down towards the pubic bone. As you raise the arms up, keep the shoulders relaxed, arms straight. The gaze is forward or up between the hands, in which you might add the rigor of sealing the palms. Take another inhale. Use the entire exhale to lower into your vinyasa. That's through Chaturanga. Then inhale to Cobra or upward facing. Exhale back to downward facing. So setting up the second side, the right foot spins out and the heel lands where it is. Bend the left knee towards the nose to lightly step left foot inside of left hand. So again, you don't have to step the foot all the way forward. If it causes you to not be able to square the hips. Make the adjustments of your feet first before you rise up. So you set it up from the root to the sky. So from here, bend the front knee just over the heel, draw the thigh bone back into the hip socket. Straighten the right leg entirely and press the outer right heel into the floor while spinning the inner right thigh towards the rear of the mat. Draw your tailbone downward as you slightly lift your frontal hip bones. Pelvis upright, soften the bottom front ribs towards the pubic bone. As you raise the arms and feel the length of your torso, relax the shoulders and maybe seal the palms. Take another breath in Virabhadrasana 1. Use the entire exhale to lower through Chaturanga Dandasana. The inhale to lift the heart in your chosen back bend. And the exhale to return to downward facing dog. So now we finish both sides of Warrior 1. Take 3 to 5 breaths here. Just recalibrating, resetting the pace that you'll continuously flow through the sequence with. So another salutation to the sun, remembering the potency of this huge fiery star and how it gives so much, yet it's so strong. All living beings need sun. So bend your knees, look beyond your hands. Bottom of the exhale, lightly land your feet together to touch. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. With knees touching, inhale, sit into chair pose. Then exhale, rise up to stand, completing one round of Sun Salutation B. So let's take 2 in a row, continuous flow, 1 breath per motion. And as you feel the pattern, or as you might already get it, go at your own pace. So let's start. Inhale into chair. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step to plank or float to Chaturanga as you breathe out. Inhale to Cobra or upward facing. Exhale to downward facing. Turn out the left foot where it is and step the right foot forward. 1 inhale, rise to Warrior 1. Exhale, lower through Chaturanga. Now remember, you could change up the vinyasa part as you might need. If you want to tone it down, you can take cat-cow or skip it. When you arrive at downward dog, bend the left knee to nose, the left foot forward. Inhale, rise to Warrior 1. Exhale, lower into your choice of vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward facing for 3 to 5 breaths. Not only checking in with your breath pace, but also with the space within your body as you hold this posture. Space in the neck and shoulders as you wrap the triceps towards the ground, lifting the hips high, feel the space in the lower back, firming the belly in. As you're ready, last round, bend your knees, look forward. Bottom of the exhale, lightly land at the top. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees to touch. Inhale, sit in Utkatasana chair. Exhale, rise up, finishing round 2. Last round. Inhale, Utkatasana chair. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana half fold. Step or float back as you breathe out. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left foot turns out, right foot steps forward. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower your vinyasa. When you arrive at downward dog, turn out the right foot, step the left foot forward. Inhale, Warrior 1. Exhale, lower to your vinyasa. Several breaths in downward facing dog. At any point, is your body asking you to take rest? Finding that balance again of heat in the practice but also being kind to your body, being kind to yourself. All the sensations being messages of satya, of truth. If you're ready to move on, bend your knees and look forward. Bottom of the exhale, lightly land at the top. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees to touch. Inhale, chair. Let's add a twist. So join your hands at your heart. Sink your hips back and hug your knees together. Try to keep them in one line so not one is forward of the other. And twist at your waistline to your right. Now you could have your arms free or use the left arm as leverage against the right thigh. Just take a peek at your knees and make sure the left knee is not coming forward to the right. If it is, back out of the twist a bit. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. See if you can turn the chest so that the middle of the chest meets your thumbs. Last 2 breaths. Sharpening our willpower, energy of the solar plexus. Sink your hips a little lower. Inhale back to chair pose. Exhale, rise up to stand for 1 deep lion's breath. Inhale through the nose. Open your eyes and mouth wide and stick out your tongue. Close the lips, back to Ujjayi breath. Bend your knees to touch. Lean towards your heels. Inhale, chair with hands together at your heart. Keep the knees in one line. Exhale, begin to twist to your left. Feel the twist happening at your waistline. Sink a little lower if you want more fire in it. Keep twisting as you breathe out. Maybe add leverage of right arm against left thigh. See if you can get your sternum at the middle of your collarbones to meet your thumbs as you relax the shoulders down the back. Last 2 deep breaths. In Parita Utkatasana, revolve chair. Sink your hips a little lower. Inhale back to chair pose. This time, exhale to fold. Separate your feet hips width apart or wider, parallel. And let's stretch the wrists for a moment. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you might need so that you can lift your toes and slip your palms face up under the soles of your feet so that your toes might reach the inner creases of your wrists. You could even wiggle your toes here and massage your wrists, even though we're stretching the outer wrists and forearms. Shift a little more weight forward so it's slightly heavier on the balls of your feet. And with an inhale, lengthen your spine forward as though pressing your heart through the gates of your arms. Hinge from the hips, exhaling, completely relax the neck. Might feel good to shake out the head a bit, to flutter the lips and relax the mouth. And as you do that, try to lift the shoulder heads up away from the neck, though you let the head hang heavily. See if you can bend the elbows apart. That will help. Let's try twice more of the half forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Lengthen the sides of your torso, sides of your neck. Keep those lengths. Exhale, bow in. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. So this posture while you're standing on your palms is called Pada Hastasana. Let's release the hands from underneath and step back to downward facing dog. So with your hips width apart, keep your hips squared. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you. As you exhale, softly land the right foot inside of your right hand into a high lunge. Come onto the ball of the left foot with your feet hips width apart and parallel. Then energize your legs, creating the feeling as if you're dragging them towards each other without visibly moving them. Feel that stability in the hips to stay squared as you slowly rise into Crescent Lunge. Now, as we begin this posture, a few breaths in it, you might bend the left knee as it helps to draw the tailbone down and orient your pelvis upright, lifting the frontal hip bone slightly. Feel the squaring of your hips, the length through the sides of your waist as you raise the arms while relaxing the shoulders. Again, you could seal the palms if you like. Let's take 2 more breaths in Crescent Lunge. Still feel the energetic interaction of scissoring the legs, of lifting the frontal hip bones, of anchoring the tailbone downward. And let's bring that those sensations in the center, forward into warrior three. Now, those of you looking for more rigor and are feeling stable in the upper back muscles, you could keep the arms overhead. That will definitely add more fire. Or not, if you don't want that more fire, you can bring the arms down by your sides with the palms face forward, or joining your hands at your heart. And if you like it more supported, place your fingertips on the ground or on blocks right ahead of you. So start to lean forward, flexing the left foot, turning the left outer hip down as you create a horizontal line from the top of your head to your left heel. Then leveling out the hips, you could bend the right knee if you're feeling any resistance in the hamstring. Let's take 4 last breaths. You could also open up the arms like wings. Steady your gaze on the floor ahead of your face to help elongate your chest forward and relax the shoulders back. Feel the frontal hip bones or the bottom front ribs slightly seal in towards the back. We're gonna land in warrior two, stepping the left foot all the way back, windmill the arms open, and let's prepare for triangle pose. So straighten the right leg. You might like a slightly shorter stance than warrior two for triangle. Align right heel to arch of left foot and engage the fronts of your thighs. Then slide your pelvis sideways towards the back edge of your mat while reaching your right hand forward before tilting it down onto your right leg or just to the right outside of your leg where arm and leg can firm against each other. Now, like warrior two, wrap the right sitting bone under your body slightly. Unlike warrior two, tack the right hip back towards your left outer heel. Relaxing the shoulders down the back, firm your belly towards your spine and spiral your chest to slightly face the sky. Let's take 3 last breaths here in Utthita Trikonasana. Look down at your right foot, and as you exhale, lower your 2 hands to frame it. But, oh yep, let's step back to plank. You could either flow or no flow. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Feel the breath, balanced and smooth. Start with your feet hips width apart. Then inhale, raise the left leg, flexing the foot. Exhale, softly land the foot inside of your left hand into a high lunge. So your feet are hips width apart and parallel, bending your front knee just over the heel. Energetically, but not visibly, scissor your legs towards each other and find that force to stabilize as you rise into Crescent Lunge. Now for the first few breaths of holding here, try bending your right knee, allowing your frontal hip bones to lift slightly. Draw the tailbone down, keep that inner scissoring of the legs, and feel your pelvic bowl upright. As you raise your arms, relax the shoulders. You might choose to seal the palms. Let's take 2 more breaths here in Crescent. Now, as we prepare for warrior 3, you could join your hands at your hearts. You could bring the arms down by your sides, palms facing forward. Or if you're still playing with a little more fire, you could raise the arms. I like to interlace the fingers in that mudra that symbolizes victory, actually, the index fingers pointing. So relax the shoulders away from the neck. Look ahead of the ground underneath your face when you come forward, and flex the right foot as it leaves the floor. Turn your right outer hip to face the ground. Tack your left outer hip back and lift the lower belly. Soften the front ribs inward towards the back. Elongate the chest forward. How's your breath? Last 3 breaths here in Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Let's meet in Warrior 2, bending the left knee, cartwheel the arms, and land the right foot towards the rear of your mat. So align your left heel to the arch of your right foot. As we set up for triangle, you might want a slightly shorter stance. Straighten the legs, firm the fronts of your thighs, and slide your pelvis sideways towards the rear of your mat, reaching the left hand forward, then down onto your left leg, or just to the left outside of it, where your arm and leg can firm against each other. Wrap your left outer hip under your body and draw your tailbone back towards your right outer heel. Feel the left side of your torso not squished, but actively lengthening. Then draw your shoulder blades down your back ribs and lengthen both sides of your neck. Firm in the belly and spiral your chest slightly towards the sky. Now let's take 3 more deep breaths in Utthita Trikonasana. Sweep your right arm overhead. Come onto the ground, either flow or no flow. I know there's something happening with the camera right now. I'll fix it. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. There we go. Arriving in downward facing dog, take a few more breaths, perhaps a child's pose. So we're going to land sitting, the pelvis at the middle of your mat with your feet in front. However you want to get there. Walk forward and sit down, or try to slide your feet through between the arms with a light jump. Nice. So setting up for boat pose, Navasana. 1 round, 7 breaths. So set up with your feet on the floor to start, knees bent. And you can decide whether to keep the knees bent or to straighten the legs when you're in it. So remember, think about zippering your lower belly inward towards your spine and upward towards your heart, lifting the area of the pelvic floor. Yesterday, we worked on the Uddiyana Bandha, which is that drawing the lower belly in and up slightly into the lower ribs. So think of that visual. Sitting tall, lean back, arms wherever you like, holding the legs are free. Maybe close the eyes. Visualize the area of your solar plexus. Breathe in there. Exhale 7. Imagine a yellow light in the solar plexus. Inhale. Exhale 6. Feel the warmth of that area like the solar power. Inhale. Exhale 5. Now in your head, chanting Ram. Inhale. Exhale 4, not the drink, R-A-M. Inhale. Exhale, I think that's 3. Sound is R-A-M, Ram. Inhale. Exhale 2, last one if you want to chant it with me. Inhale. Ram. Gently lower your feet and come into a seat. So we're going to practice in Sukhasana, which is easy pose, whatever that means for you, breath of fire. And in the Kundalini Kriya, ego eradicator pose. So it's finding that balance of individual self and needs and that holistic view of how we're all interconnected is the energy work behind this Kriya. So it begins with the arms raised at 60-degree angles. Arms are straight, shoulders are relaxed, spine is tall, pelvis is rooted. And then we fist the hands except the thumbs. So we curl in all the other fingers and the thumbs are pointing straight up. So you want to feel a stretch between the index finger and the thumbs, an active stretch as you're doing this. And so we stay in this position. You can relax for a moment while I show you the breath. And the breath of fire is similar to Bhastrika, bellows breath, except you're focusing on the exhalations being sharper, in which the belly bounces in towards the spine. So you're breathing into the belly passively. All the breath is through the nose, the mouth is closed, and you're pulsing the belly into the spine as you breathe out like this. And then find a rhythm that works for you, and eventually if you're able to speed it up, but keep it a consistent rhythm. So I'm going to set the timer again for 1 minute. Let's prepare with the arms at 60-degree angles, thumbs pointing towards the sky. Breath of fire. You might close your eyes and direct your inward gaze at your third eye center. Ready? Begin. Take a deep inhale. Keep the arms where they are. Hold the breath in. Think of lifting your pelvic floor. You might tuck chin to chest. As you exhale, slowly bring the thumbs together to touch overhead. Breathe naturally as you release the palms face down out to the sides and onto your lap. Just resting here for a moment to observe how you feel. Then come back to Ujjayi breathing, closing the lips, sustaining your breath equally through the nose with a gentle whispering sound. Let's lower onto all fours or plank pose, taking about 3 breaths. Draw the chest forward, lift the sides of the waist. On your third exhalation, lower through Chaturanga. You might pause for an in-breath or just come all the way down at once. Setting up for 2 rounds of bow, Danurasana, putting pressure into the abdominal region, especially in the solar plexus. This is another posture to help open up that energy center. So make sure your knees don't splay wider than hips distance. You might want to scoot them as close together as we start. Then bend your knees and ground your pubic bone. Catch hold of your outer feet with your hands and kick your legs towards straight. As you pull your feet towards you, imagine you're squeezing a yoga block between your thighs. Then coil your chest up without cranking the neck. Give yourself about 5 more deep breaths, expanding the heart space, softening the shoulders down, lengthening the back of your neck, and relaxing your face. When you decide to come out of it, turn your head to one side, in which you might rest on the pillow of your arms and pigeon toe your feet. Take a couple deep belly breaths, massaging your belly against the earth. You might continue with the belly breaths on our last same pose, bow or Danurasana. Have your knees as close together as you can as you start, forehead to the ground. Bend your knees, catch hold of your outer feet with your hands, and press your pubic bone down. Kick the legs towards straight as you pull your feet. Count 5 to 10 breaths on your own. So giving your digestive organs some additional stimulation, you might focus on breathing into your abdomen as we're putting weight on it. And when you decide to release, turn your head to the opposite side. You can either shimmy the hips left and right, or windshield wiper your shins side to side. And gently loosening up the lower back. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth to sigh it out. One more inhale. And let it go. Then place your hands alongside your floating ribs and press your body up to sit for a seated twist. Bringing your legs in front of you, extend your left leg forward, and set up your right foot in front of the hip or cross it outside of your left knee, in which you might also bend your left knee, making sure that your two sitting bones are evenly grounded, spine is tall. Then backstroke your right hand on the floor just behind your pelvis as you raise the left arm. Press into the ground even with your right foot and lift up through the center of your spine, taking a deep breath in. At your waistline, twist to your right as you exhale, holding your shin with your left hand or hooking your elbow outside of that thigh. Broaden your chest, lift your sternum, lift your crown. Chin is about parallel to the ground. Keep twisting. A few more breaths. If you're looking for a bit more depth in the twist, see if you could reach your left hand to catch hold of your left knee while hooking the upper arm outside of the thigh. And wrap the right arm behind your torso around your waistline. You might catch hold of the inside of your left thigh. Draw the shoulder heads down. Take one last breath. At the end of the exhale, unwind. And let's take the second side. Straighten the right leg forward. Try to set up the same way if you can on the side. Left foot in front of the hip or outside of the right knee. You might also bend the right knee. Backstroke your left hand behind your pelvis. Raise the right arm. Press into the ground. Breathe in to sit taller. Exhale, twist. Lower the right arm. If you're hooking the elbow outside of the thigh and you want to find that bind, extend the right arm forward and see if you can catch hold of your right knee with your right hand. Then you could also see if you can wrap the left arm behind your torso, in which you might also catch hold of the inside of your right thigh. Press down through the sitting bones, lift through the center of your spine, and relax the shoulders as you keep twisting. 2 more breaths. At the end of your exhale, unwind your spine. Let's straighten the legs forward for Paschimottanasana. If you have a strap, you can wrap it around the balls of your feet. Separate your feet hips width apart and flex your toes, pressing the big toe mounts forward. From down through your sitting bones and lift your rib cage, softening in the front ribs. Then with a long spine, start to fold with each out breath. If you don't have a strap, catch hold of your legs or clasp your big toes with your peace fingers. Bending the elbows slightly apart and drawing the shoulder blades further down the back to maintain the natural space and curve of your neck. Now let's take 3 more deep breaths. Breathing from the center of your chest. Inhale, slowly rise up. So find a way to lift your legs up higher than your heart so that you're either lying on your back, maybe you're using a wall to rest your legs on or a prop, or you're practicing shoulder stand. And we'll be there for just another half a minute. See if while lifting your legs in this cooling inversion, you can focus on the length of your exhalations, growing longer than your inhalations, helping to relax your nervous system. You might also cool down by inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Gently lower your body, perhaps through plow if you're in shoulder stand, maybe into happy baby or into hugging your knees into your chest. Take any last gentle movement or easy pose for just a few more breaths before on your own, lowering your body to rest in Shavasana. Now, as you continue to lie in Shavasana, just another moment, I invite you to revisit in your mind's eye your upper abdominal area, the solar plexus. You might even place your hands there like we did at the start. And just notice what you physically, emotionally, energetically feel in that area. If anything reveals itself to you. And as you keep your mind's eye there, I invite you to choose a thought, a positive affirmation about yourself that you can affirm in your own words that relates to feeling confidence, feeling strong in your body, in your being, in your existence, feeling worthy of what you've created in your life and what you will be creating, what you are creating. So in your own words, affirming something you feel true about yourself that relates to your own strength, confidence, and willpower. And as you continue to breathe naturally, gently lift your body up to find a comfortable seat. And for the last 2 minutes, I invite you to choose to either sit, observing your mind, perhaps repeating the mantra in your head, or practicing alternate nostril breathing with me, Nadi Shodhana. I know some of us talked about having trouble sleeping or having headaches because of the heat. That breath work is wonderful for that, for finding some relief. So I'm going to practice alternate nostril breathing if you want to follow Rest your left hand on your lap. Perhaps bring thumb and index finger to touch. And with your right hand, stick out your thumb, pinky, and ring finger. As you close the lips, breathe through your nose, close the eyes, steady the gaze on one spot. Exhale the breath completely, then hold it out. Right thumb covers right nostril. Inhale through left. Hold the breath in. Last two fingers cover left nostril. Exhale through right. Hold it out. Inhale through right. Hold. Cover right with thumb. Exhale through left. Hold. Inhale through left. Hold. Cover left with two fingers. Exhale through right. Hold. Inhale right. Hold. Cover right with thumb. Exhale left. Hold. Inhale left. Hold. Cover left. Exhale right. Hold. Inhale right. Hold. Cover right with thumb and exhale left. Releasing both hands. And you might bring the hands together at the heart as we close. Take a deep breath in, lifting the heart towards your thumbs. Keep your heart lifted and exhale through the mouth. I invite us to close with the seed sound for the Manipura chakra, which is Ram, R-A-M. Take a deep breath. Ram. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.